Hey, welcome to the making of Half the Battle.
Today I'm going to tell you how the sausage is made, because you asked for it. And let's start at the very beginning.
Hey, welcome to Half the Battle.
There's two reasons I always say that. First, brand recognition, it's as simple as that. But also, it's been said that a writer's greatest enemy is a blank page. It's hard to get started, so that's always the first thing I write as a psychological trick of sorts. By the way, it's say hey because I took that from Krusty the Clown.
Hey!
Now, let's talk schedules.
First, the big picture, namely the whole year. January, February, March, April, June, and September are regular months filled with regular episodes. The other months are specials. May is main character May, July and August are for vehicles, October is Monster Month, and December is Winter is Coming, where we look at cold weather toys.
The most special month is November.
As even though that contains mostly regular episodes, it's also the month of the charity drive, the most important thing I do all year.
Now, let's drill down a bit.
For regular months, I tend to stick to an 8-week schedule. It goes character/toy review, an in-between episode, another toy review, an in-between, a cartoon review, an in-between, and a comic review, followed by another in-between.
In-betweens are what I call videos that don't have an episode number and aren't reviews most of the time.
It's stuff like top lists, vlogs, rants, and anything I feel like talking about. I do these because they're easy to write and fast to produce, giving myself a break so I don't burn myself out. This is still a hobby for me, and I want it to always be fun. In-betweens make sure that remains so.
Of course, sometimes something gets in the way of making a regular episode, and that's why I have emergency filler.
Over 11 years, I've had 2 computers break on me, and twice life has hit me like a ton of bricks so that I needed some time off, which has led to emergency filler videos. One thing that's not an emergency but a recurring thing is that I like to go to Comic-Cons, and those are on the weekend when I do most of my video work, so on those days you get Comic-Con vlogs and me sharing the stuff I bought.
Now, let's drill down even further and talk about the making of a single episode.
It all starts on Sunday night or Monday morning when I decide what the subject of my next video is gonna be. With the exception of comic reviews, which I have to do in chronological order because it's an ongoing story, my picks are mostly random.
It sort of depends on how much time I think I'll have in any given week.
An episode on, say, Leatherneck, who's had lots of toys and appearances in other media, will take a lot more work than a video on Red Spot, who had like one figure and very little presence in other media.
Like I said last week, I don't write a script in one sitting.
I give myself 5 days, Monday to Friday, though I'm usually done by Thursday. I keep Friday as a buffer if anything comes up during the week that gives me less time to write. For toy reviews and in-betweens, I write whenever I feel like it and write however much I feel like. I will have the toys I talk about with me through the scripting.
For the comic and cartoon reviews, I do set a schedule.
First, I'll read the full comic or watch the entire cartoon, making notes of any jokes or insights I come up with then and there. Then I chop them up into 4 parts for 4 days of scripting. So I'll go through about 5 minutes of a cartoon episode each day, or about 5 pages of a comic book Monday to Thursday.
During this time, I also do any research I need to do.
My go-to sites are G.I.Joe.com and the G.I.Joe wiki, plus Google for any other stuff. Check out my old video on the 7 dumbest bits of research I've done for more of an insight on that.
Once the script is done, I'll print it out and highlight any lines that I have to read to camera, like the ones you're hearing right now.
You'll notice that I don't write scripts weeks or months in advance. This week's script is always going to be next week's episode. This works for me, but it does make it difficult to secure cameos or crossovers from other creators. Well, except for HCC788, who's always willing, eager even, to help on short notice.
So obviously, when I'm dead set on having cameos, I do plan those in advance.
This is usually for anniversary or big number episodes. While I still won't write most of the script that much ahead of time, I will write the bits that have other people in them and give them weeks or months notice since, these are busy people. Hell, I gave the lads from OSW Review almost a whole year for that Wild Bar segment on Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, main character May is one of those things that I plan well in advance.
Everybody I've collaborated with has been a pleasure to work with, and I can't pick any favorites, though I love doing the whole Avengers parody for Cobra Convergence.
Anyway, the script is finished, so next I'll do the voiceover work.
Depending on how much there is to do, I usually finish this on Friday and Saturday, very rarely finishing on Sunday. I use Audacity to record and edit the voiceover and have a headset mic. Recording and editing the audio takes anything from half an hour to an hour and a half, depending on script length.
Up next is filming the 2-camera work like I'm doing right now.
This usually happens on Saturday morning or occasionally on Sunday morning.
I've always got my script right here with me.
You may have noticed that these segments are always short, like 1 or 2 sentences. There's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, it's so I don't have to remember a whole bunch of lines at once. This isn't theater.
Second, I don't like doing this. Cutting within the same footage, I mean. I know others do this, and hey, it's fine if it works for them, but it's just not for me.
The only monologuing I do is during vlogs, because those aren't scripted. I use natural light when filming, so the lighting isn't always consistent. The most annoying part is traffic noises outside, meaning I have to wait until it's quiet to say my lines. This is worse during the summer when there's plenty of motorcycles about.
Still, filming this only takes like between 7 and 15 minutes.
The last of the pre-production is taking photos and sometimes video of the review subject. This is usually done Sunday morning or early afternoon. This doesn't apply when it's a comic or cartoon review, obviously. This photography takes about half an hour.
Now, let's talk about the stuff I do on the computer.
First, there's still some stuff to do before editing. I put together the title card, and if I need pictures of stuff I can't take photos of myself, I search eBay or Wikipedia to get those. This is also when I decide what theme song to use. That's not in the script, it's usually a last-minute decision. For cartoon reviews, I'll have already downloaded the episode on Monday so I can watch it, thank you Hasbro, so that's ready to go. For comic reviews, I download scans of the issue.
And so the editing begins.
For a comic review, there's actually some pre-editing to do first, as I'll cut up all the comic panels I'm gonna need beforehand and label them as numbers 1 to however many there are, usually about 60 or 70. I use MS Paint for that.
Hey, it's free and it works.
The actual editing I do on Sundays and begins with putting in the title cards and the theme music, followed by the couch footage that I cut into pieces. Then I'll add pictures or footage segment by segment along with the voiceover clips until I'm done. Except I'm not done because I still need to add the credits and watch the whole thing pre-rendering to spot any mistakes. Then I render the video and upload it to YouTube.
And I'm done.
The easiest videos to edit are the comic reviews because I number all panels chronologically, so it barely requires any thought. The most difficult to edit are the cartoon reviews, because not only do I have to find the right footage for the right voiceovers, but I also have to make sure every clip is shorter than 7 seconds so YouTube doesn't autoclaim it for copyright. These take the longest to do.
All other types of review or video are somewhere between those two.
It all depends on how much footage from other media I need. A Sergeant Slaughter review will have quite a bit of cartoon, and not to mention wrestling footage, while a Mirage one will have none. For editing, I usually use Windows Movie Maker, and I just heard audible gasps and recoiling in horror from viewers that produce videos themselves, since it's the editing software's equivalent of duct tape and spit and barely has any features.
But it's easy to use, it barely ever crashes, and it's good for what I use it for.
I also have Vegas Movie Studio 14, but I hardly ever use it, only if I need a special effect or something, because I've never really learned how to edit with it. Look, if I did this full time, I'd get big boy software and professional lighting and all that, but my Patreon would have to be like $700 or something, and that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. So I'm happy with what I'm able to do right now.
And that about wraps it up. Alright, I do other stuff too. I'll make this short. Get it?
For Saturday Shorties, I write the script on Thursdays, sometimes ending on Fridays. Recording the voiceover takes about 6 minutes, editing it about 10. Filming the toy takes up 10 minutes, and the editing takes like half an hour, so they're called shorties for a variety of reasons.
They're a fun little side project.
I also do a gaming stream most Saturdays on Twitch for about an hour. I've started uploading these Let's Plays to my second channel because I have a second channel now. Go check it out, it's really popular.
And that really does wrap it up. I hope you've enjoyed this look behind the curtain. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody, and hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.